tired of visualizations that don't produce results. You've imagined it over and over again, felt the emotions, but it's still stagnant. It's not the visualization that's wrong, it's your frequency. Reality doesn't respond to desire, it responds to coherence. Let's change your frequency and manifest the life of your dreams. The distinction between merely imagining a future and actually broadcasting it at a quantum level is profound. It's not enough to see what you want. You must become the version of yourself who already lives it in the quantum realm. Visualization plays only a minor role. The real key, the underlying code, is your frequency. If your frequency doesn't resonate with the reality you're calling in, it will elude you, regardless of how vividly you visualize. You've often heard the advice, ask, believe, receive, but the truth is, the universe doesn't operate on requests. It responds to your coherence, to your energetic integrity, to the signal you embody. This isn't the signal you carefully project during meditation, but the one deeply woven into your breath, your choices, and your emotions. Why? Because the universe isn't just listening to your words. It's attuned to what you are. This is the fundamental code. Once you grasp this subtle yet profound shift, everything begins to transform, not through forcing harder or thinking more positively, but by letting go of the chase. You stop asking, stop reinforcing the notion that your dream life is distant, and instead, you start treating it like a frequency you can step into. This isn't some abstract concept. The frequency that unlocks your visualized reality is undeniably vibrational. It possesses a distinct quality, a quiet certainty, a steady rhythm. It doesn't rush, doesn't crave, and never wonders when things will finally change. It already knows. Because when you operate from the identity of someone who has already received, the field must adjust. So, why does this shift feel so challenging? Why is it effortless to visualize beauty, but so difficult to maintain the energy of it's already mine? It's because your past has conditioned you to vibrate in the frequency of not yet. You've been programmed to wait, to earn, to prepare, to feel worthy. Now, for the first time, you're being asked to release all of that and simply embody what once seemed like a far-off dream. Initially, it might feel unnatural, even like self-deception, but that's simply your nervous system catching up to your deeper truth. This frequency we're embracing isn't new to your soul. It's merely unfamiliar to your physical being. Part of this journey is about teaching your body what your soul intrinsically understands. You're not pursuing your future, you're remembering your alignment with it. You might wonder, how can I maintain this frequency when nothing around me has changed? The answer is to become the change first. Decide that your vibration will lead, and the external evidence will follow. Shift your focus from what's lacking to what's already present, from what you desire to who you are. As you consistently practice this, day after day, a new energy takes root. One that remains steadfast under pressure, one that doesn't dissipate when the world gets noisy. It becomes your new baseline, and that's when the field begins to align with you. Not because you coerced it, but because you finally matched it. This is precisely what we'll explore in this video. Beyond the general concept of manifestation, we'll delve into the specific frequency that genuinely unlocks the life you've been visualizing. We'll discuss how to transition from a mindset of scarcity to the vibration of embodiment. We'll show you how to act as if authentically, without faking it, and how to move through life as if it's already yours. This isn't about trying to impress the universe, but about finally living in harmony with it. There is a precise energetic rhythm, a code. Once you learn to tune into it, everything around you will begin to respond gently, powerfully, and consistently. Are you ready to remember what it feels like to be a perfect match for the reality you've always held in your heart? Then, let's begin. Let's be absolutely clear. The quantum field isn't swayed by your desires. Instead, it responds to who you fundamentally are. It doesn't analyze your vision board, weigh your intentions, or tally your affirmations. It simply acts as a mirror to the frequency you're broadcasting. And this frequency doesn't originate from your goals. It stems directly from your identity. Not the identity you articulate, but the one you embody every moment. The way you enter a room, your reaction to silence, or how you carry yourself when no one is watching. In the quantum realm, reality isn't something you acquire, it's something you generate from the inside out. So, what does this practically mean for your life? It means if you envision abundant wealth, but live with a constant fear of spending, your energetic field is actually transmitting fear. If you visualize profound love but instinctively recoil from compliments or push intimacy away, your field is registering resistance. If you dream of expansive growth but consistently speak about feeling stuck, your field accepts that as your truth. This is because the quantum field doesn't interpret your aspirations, it reads your coherence. This fundamental mismatch is precisely why so many people feel stuck on their manifestation journey. They're diligently following all the rules, meditating, journaling, scripting, visualizing, yet their desires remain out of reach. The core issue, their thoughts and emotions, are out of sync. Their minds are attempting to manifest, while their bodies are still signaling fear, unworthiness, or survival mode. The result is a flood of mixed signals, and the quantum field simply mirrors that internal static back to them. This is where the true transformation begins. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions all resonate with the same truth, the universe has no option but to reflect that back to you. This alignment is known as coherence. In this coherent state, your energetic frequency becomes remarkably stable, powerful, and magnetic, literally compelling reality to rearrange itself. Consider this: mere desire, divorced from your identity, is simply background noise. But when your deeper self and your aspirations perfectly merge, your signal becomes crystal clear. The field isn't drawn to what you want. It responds to your certainty. So, how do we cultivate this certainty, especially when external proof is absent? You generate that proof internally. Instead of waiting for external validation, you begin to embody the version of yourself who already lives the reality you envision. Stop postponing feeling successful. Start dressing, speaking, and moving as if success is already your present state. This isn't about pretense. It's about reconnecting with the authentic self that exists beneath layers of doubt. This principle has been articulated by many. Neville Goddard called it living from the end. Joe Dispenza refers to firing and wiring new neural patterns. And Greg Braden speaks of emotional coherence. Regardless of the terminology, the essence remains the same. You shift from trying to become to simply being. This is the quantum frequency we're discussing. It's not something you pursue. It's a state you consciously choose to inhabit repeatedly until it becomes your new normal. Until your nervous system adapts, your internal dialogue supports it, and it feels so innate that you can barely recall the feeling of living in scarcity. Embracing this version of yourself before external confirmation demands courage. It can feel solitary, disorienting, and even inauthentic initially. However, this is simply your past identity attempting to cling to its established position in your energetic blueprint. Acknowledge its presence, but refuse to let it dictate your actions. You are now the signal. You are the point of calibration. You are the origin of the shift, not merely its recipient. You become the reality. This process isn't about fabricating confidence. It's about tapping into the frequency of already having and operating from that space. It's about conditioning your entire system to feel secure in a state of enough. When your subconscious feels safe, your energy naturally expands. And when your energy expands, the field responds accordingly. So, release the cycle of trying, forcing, and endless repetition. Your purpose isn't to strive harder for your dreams. It's to realize that the version of you who already lives them isn't distant. That self simply resides on a different, more stable, more embodied frequency. And that version inherently knows how to move, speak, decide, and feel as if it's already done. Because, for them, it is. Let's step into that embodied state. Now we arrive at the most commonly misunderstood, oversimplified, and even ridiculed concept: acting as if. On the surface, these words might suggest pretense, forcing, or merely putting on a show, hoping the universe is fooled. But in truth, acting as if is far from pretending. It is precise frequency training. When you behave as if your desired reality is already yours, you are actively aligning your physical being with that vibrational signal before the external world grants permission. You are not awaiting proof, you are becoming the proof. By doing so, you send an unequivocal, consistent message to the field. I am ready. I have arrived. Match me. This is undeniably challenging. Your current environment might still reflect your old self. Your bank account might still whisper tales of scarcity. Your relationships might still mirror past patterns. Yet despite these external conditions, you are called to operate from this new frequency. Why? Because this is precisely how energy manifests into form, not through passive waiting, but through the active expression of your identity. So, how do you put this into practice? Start small. You don't need to overhaul your entire life immediately. Focus on subtle shifts in how you navigate it, the way you speak about yourself, your posture, your response to positive events. Do you fully embrace a beautiful occurrence, or do you question its reality? Each of these micro movements communicates to the field what you genuinely believe you deserve. If you were already living your ultimate reality, how would you awaken tomorrow? What would you wear, even if no one was watching? How would you breathe, eat, walk, speak? This isn't about superficial aesthetics. It's about cultivating your energetic posture. Would you still diminish your energy in certain rooms? Would you still apologize for your authentic truth? Would you still abandon your intuition merely to maintain superficial harmony? Or would you begin to make choices like someone who deeply trusts themselves? Like someone who no longer needs to acquire something because they have already become the person who possesses it? You see, when you shift your internal signal, everything downstream begins to adjust. This is why it's often called quantum shifting. Your seemingly subtle choices act like pebbles dropped into the field, creating ripples that extend far beyond what your eyes can perceive. So instead of asking, when will it happen? Begin asking, how would I move today if I knew it already had? This is the point where your behavior transitions from reactive to magnetic, when your words, tone, and overall presence align with the reality you've been visualizing. You're no longer trying to attract something. You are simply embodying the version of yourself that is already in perfect alignment. And here's the astounding part. You will notice the field beginning to respond. People will treat you differently. New ideas will emerge. Synchronistic coincidences will align. This isn't because the universe suddenly decided to favor you, but because your signal has become strong enough to cut through the noise. You stopped leaking energy into the distance someday and started embodying now. This is coherent. This is the authentic mechanism of manifestation, not through pleading, endless scripting, or forcing things harder, but by becoming the energetic signal your future self already lives from. Of course, your mind will attempt to interject. It will whisper, but we don't have that yet. It will challenge you with, aren't you afraid you're being unrealistic? Recognize that this isn't your truth, it's your past identity attempting to keep you confined. Acknowledge it, and then simply keep going. This process isn't about convincing anyone else. It's about training your own energetic field to believe what your soul inherently knows. So today, speak one sentence as if it's already complete. Make one choice as if you're already there. Take one step as if it's already yours. Because the more you act as if it's already yours, the more the field believes you. And when the field believes you, reality bends to perfectly meet your signal. There are stretches in your journey where everything feels suspended. You've diligently done the inner work, cultivated stable energy, and let go of the relentless pursuit. Yet, no grand external shifts seem to occur. Still, a subtle shift vibrates deep within you. Your thoughts become quieter, your nervous system finds a new sense of safety, and you begin to notice nuanced changes in how you interact with the world. And then, it happens. A number sequence effortlessly surfaces, repeating itself across days, locations, digital screens, clocks, and receipts. It's 777. You might initially dismiss it as mere coincidence, but a more attuned part of you, now finely tuned, recognizes it's no random occurrence. It's a precise message, a gentle activation, a direct vibrational reflection. You weren't actively searching for a sign, and that's precisely why it appeared. The quantum field doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to resonance. And the appearance of 777 signifies that your energetic field has aligned profoundly enough for the quantum realm to quietly communicate back. It's not a prediction that your manifestation is approaching. It's a confirmation that you have become a vibrational match for what has already been circling you. The energetic seed you planted, sometimes intentionally, sometimes through serene presence, is now vibrating at the frequency of full bloom. In various spiritual traditions, the number 7 holds profound sacred meaning, often linked to divine truth, heightened intuition, and inner mastery. When it triples, as in 777, its significance transcends mere numerology. It transforms into a powerful vibrational signature of coherence, not absolute perfection, but a deep It signals that your thoughts, actions, and emotions are no longer at odds with one another. You're no longer attempting to manifest a reality while your body simultaneously feels unsafe to receive it, nor are you merely envisioning with your mind while your heart harbors doubt. You have entered a state of profound harmony, perhaps not continuously, but consistently enough to genuinely shift your timeline. From a quantum perspective, the appearance of 777 indicates that the wave of potential is on the verge of collapsing into form. While you still exist within the infinite possibilities of the field, your refined signal is now actively drawing reality toward a specific expression, the one you've been meticulously tuning into through your emotional steadiness and internal recalibration. The field has heard you, not through your spoken words, but through your undeniable frequency. This number isn't a reward. It's a resonance echo. It doesn't arrive to give you something, but to reflect what you have already become. Here's where many miss the true power of this moment. They perceive 777 as a cue to relax, to disengage, to declare, it's handled now. However, this isn't a moment for stepping back. It's a threshold, an invitation to anchor even deeper into your aligned state. Your role isn't to prematurely celebrate or revert to passivity. Your role is to hold the signal steady. Remain in this energetic current. Allow the field to continue converging towards you without interruption. You might hear that manifestations happen all of a sudden, but nothing in the quantum realm occurs abruptly. What feels instantaneous in the physical world was meticulously built in the invisible. 777 marks that critical tipping point, the delicate balance between intention and inevitability. It's the point where your desired reality isn't just coming towards you. It's actively forming around you. Beyond being a profound sign of alignment, 777 is a potent invitation to deepen your presence. It's a call to cease searching and instead fully embody. Take a moment to notice how your body feels right now and ask yourself, would the version of me who lives that reality feel this way? Would they rush? Would they doubt? Or would they implicitly trust the new structure forming beneath the surface? Because that's precisely what this is, a fundamental structural shift. You're not just manifesting an outcome. You are rewiring the very foundation of who you are, how you think, feel, move, speak, and decide. The field is responding to this transformed identity. The number isn't revealing what's next. It's confirming what is already here. If you feel this truth, not just intellectually but energetically, if something within you recognizes this message as timely, precise, and profoundly true, then take a deep breath. Allow your system to fully receive this confirmation. Let your nervous system feel safe in this knowing. Let your heart soften into the awareness that you are no longer becoming aligned, you already are. The shift isn't coming, it's stabilizing. What you've visualized isn't a distant dream waiting to be reached. It's a frequency you've finally tuned into. If you feel this resonance, if you wish to solidify this truth, not just within yourself, but in the collective field, then I invite you to share 777 in the comments below. Not as a charm for luck, but as a silent declaration. I feel it. I remember I am aligned. Sometimes, numbers are merely numbers, but at other times, they are a language, a mirror, a code, a truth you are finally prepared to live. Perhaps no one explicitly told you this, but manifestation isn't the art of acquiring what you want. It's the art of remembering who you truly are. Every frequency you've been striving to access, abundance, peace, purpose, love, already resides within that remembrance. It's not external to you, waiting to be earned. It exists within you, waiting to be stabilized. The truth is, you've experienced glimpses of it before. Those flashes of alignment, moments when time seemed to dissolve and you felt absolute peace without an obvious cause. Moments when your heart effortlessly opened, when the perfect words flowed, when you made a decision that felt deeply intuitive. These weren't coincidences. They were previews of the self you are increasingly becoming and the life that version of you naturally attracts. Quantum manifestation isn't about forcing these moments to occur more frequently. It's about expanding your capacity to remain in them, to establish these states as your baseline, to become someone who no longer needs to visualize because you are already resonating with what you once only imagined. This profound shift won't feel sudden, but you will recognize it in the subtle ways life begins to respond. A conversation that feels unusually synchronous, a profound sense of inner calm amidst chaos, a decision made without overthinking. These are the indicators that your signal is solidifying, that you are no longer reaching for the field. You are an integrated part of it, merged with it, emitting a frequency that no longer negotiates with the past. And this is critical because your old identity will still whisper. It will try to convince you you're not ready. Who do you think you are? You need proof first. It will attempt to pull you back into your history. Each time you notice this, you'll face a choice. Do I reenact the old timeline, or do I firmly hold the new one for just one more breath? This is where your power now resides, not in how loud you are or how quickly you move, but in your consistent ability to remain in the energy of already mine. Not to impress anyone, not to deceive the field, but because that is authentically who you are now. You are not searching for signs. You are becoming one. You are not performing worthiness. You are embodying it. And the universe doesn't require convincing. It simply responds. This is the true meaning of manifestation. Not bending the world to your will, but aligning your inner state so precisely that the world impeccably mirrors you back. Not through manipulating matter, but by dissolving resistance, clarifying your signal, and collapsing the interference between your highest self and your current reality. And when that happened, something unexpected appeared, namely peace. Not excitement, not adrenaline, but a deep, pervasive peace. Because you realize you're no longer chasing anything. You're allowing, you're receiving. You're witnessing your own energy returning to you in the form of people, opportunities, clarity, and immense beauty. There is no greater transformation than this. And the more consistently you return to this state, the more your nervous system learns that it is safe to live here, not just to visit this frequency, but to reside in it, to make this alignment your home. Not because life is suddenly perfect, but because your coherence no longer depends on external circumstances. You've internalized the field, you've learned to trust it, and in turn, it trusts you back. So, take a deep, conscious breath right now. Allow yourself to fully receive all of this. Let it settle into your system, not as new information, but as a truth you've always known, now remembered. Feel your energy soften into the awareness that you have already changed. You are not waiting for the quantum shift. You are the quantum shift. And if something in this video resonated with you at precisely the right moment, if it helped you connect a piece that was just beyond your grasp, then perhaps this isn't just content. Perhaps it's a mirror, a reflection of who you're becoming, a reminder that the frequency you've been visualizing isn't theoretical. It's vibrational, and you are finally living in it. If this feels true, if it resonates, then I invite you to stay connected with this space. To subscribe, not out of obligation, but because it aligns with you. Because this isn't merely a channel, it's a frequency. And if you found yourself breathing differently while watching, you're already in it. We're not just watching videos here. We're practicing new timelines. We're not just consuming, we're collapsing possibility into form. We're not just learning, we're remembering. And I'm glad you're here. Let's keep shifting together. The truth is, you've already touched it before. You've had glimpses, flashes of alignment, moments when time dissolved, and you felt completely at peace for no apparent reason. Moments when your heart opened without permission, when the right words flowed, when you made a decision that felt like it came from somewhere deeper. Those weren't accidents. They were previews of the self you're becoming more often and the life that version of you naturally attracts. Quantum manifestation isn't about forcing those moments to happen more frequently. It's about expanding your capacity to stay in them, to make those states your baseline, to become someone who doesn't need to visualize because you're already resonating with what you used to imagine. And that shift isn't something you'll feel overnight, but it is something you'll recognize in the subtle ways life begins to respond. A conversation that feels unusually aligned, a sense of inner calm in the middle of chaos, a decision made without overthinking. These are the signs that your signal is stabilizing, that you're no longer reaching for the field. You're part of it, merged with it, emitting a frequency that no longer negotiates with the past. And this is important because the old identity will still whisper. It'll say, "You're not ready. Who do you think you are? You need proof first." It'll invite you to collapse back into your history. And every time you notice it, you'll have a choice. Do I play out the old timeline again, or do I hold the new one for just one more breath? That's where your power lives now. Not in how loud you are or how fast you move, but in how consistently you can stay in the energy of already mine. Not to impress anyone, not to trick the field, but because that's who you are now. You're not searching for signs, you're becoming one. You're not performing worthiness, you're embodying it. And the universe doesn't need to be convinced. It simply responds. This is what it means to truly manifest, not to bend the world to your will, but to match your inner state so precisely that the world mirrors you back in detail. Not because you're manipulating matter, but because you've dissolved resistance, you've clarified your signal, you've collapsed the interference between your highest self and your current reality. And when that happens, something unexpected appears. Peace, not excitement, not adrenaline, but peace. Because you realize you're no longer chasing anything. You're allowing, you're receiving, you're witnessing your own energy returning to you in the form of people, opportunities, clarity, and beauty. There's no greater shift than that. And the more you return to it again and again, the more your nervous system learns that it's safe to live here. Not just visit this frequency, but reside in it, to make this alignment your home. Not because life is perfect, but because your coherence no longer depends on the outside world. You've internalized the field. You've learned to trust it, and it trusts you back. So, take a deep, mindful breath right now. Allow this information to truly sink in, not as something new to learn, but as a truth you've always carried, now simply recalled. Feel a softening in your energy as you recognize that you've already shifted. You're not passively awaiting a quantum leap. You are the quantum leap. If this video resonated with you precisely when you needed it, if it helped connect a missing piece that felt just out of reach, then perhaps this isn't merely content. Perhaps it's a mirror, reflecting the powerful being you're becoming. It's a clear reminder that the reality you've been envisioning isn't a distant theory. It's a vibrational frequency you've finally attuned to. If this feels undeniably true, if it clicks for you, then I invite you to remain connected with this space. Subscribe, not out of obligation, but because it feels right, because it aligns with your unfolding journey. This isn't just a channel, it's a frequency. And if you noticed yourself breathing differently as you watched, you're already plugged in. Here, we're not just viewing videos, we're actively practicing new timelines. We're not just consuming information, we're collapsing possibility into tangible form. We're not just learning, we're remembering. I'm truly glad you're here. Let's continue this powerful shift together. Remember, you are no longer the seeker, but the source. True manifestation is not about getting, but about becoming. By aligning your frequency, you not only attract your dreams, but you actually manifest them from the inside out. This is a power that has always been within you, now ready to blossom.